Hi everyone, this is Nick from Elite Outdoor Fitness. How to capture the best weekly training program. Now, it really does depend on what your goal is, of course, and we've discussed many times using Garmin for training suggestions and stuff like that. But let's just say you want to do an event, it's like 6 to 12 miles or whatever. Generally speaking, this is what I've done all my life. I've won loads of events out there. I'm not the best in the world, although I did have a couple of world records, but my training kind of platform or the basis and the structure of my training is predominantly being the same, and all I've done is just added little bits and I've tweaked it. And what I mean by that is the structure is the same, and then in the latter stages of each phase, so let's say I was doing 3 months of training, or let's say I was doing 9 months, I'd block it into 3. So I'd do 3 months training, month 1, month 2, month 3, and in that block I would do 3 weeks of loading, 1 week deload. Phase 1. Phase 2 would be 3 weeks of deloading, 3 weeks of loading, 1 week of deloading. Phase 2. And then going into phase 3, I'd probably do about 2.5 to 3 weeks ish, and then a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe of deloaded training, depending on how arduous my training was or the event that I was looking at doing. Okay, but generally speaking, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and you just break it down to 3. If you do 9 months, you do a 3 month program. Still breaking that down into 3 on, 1 week off, 3 on, 1 week off over 3 months. And that's like phase 1, and then phase 2, and then phase 3. In the last part of some of those phases, you are capturing a little bit of deficit training. That's what we do, all right? And in the last phase, last 2 or 3 weeks of your last phase of training, you're moving towards specificity of training. Something, most of the sessions in some way, specifically 1 or 2 of them a week, are looking like your event. How do you break it down? How do you segment the training? Like with everything in life, your body likes individualism. It likes doing things separately. You work your biceps, work your triceps, work your shoulders, and then put things together much later on. Like trail running is hard, isn't it? Multidiscipline. But do everything separately, then add a little bit of elevation, then add a little bit of like balance work and on your muscles and that, and then eventually you'll be a good trail runner or cross-country runner. Monday, aim towards VO2 max sessions on Monday. Tuesday, aim towards an easy run and maybe going in later on into an efficiency level type of run. Wednesday, rest day. Thursday, lactate threshold. Friday, rest initially, but then some sort of alternative exercise that's going to help you in the hills, like walking uphill or rowing or something like that. Saturday, LSD. Sunday, rest, but then maybe a nice recovery session much later on. These are the real basics, and if you stick to that and you get routine and consistency in those, you'll be doing very well. Thanks for listening.